Hello, people. Today I have with us the Revernova from 30-Minute Missions. This one is the BEXM 28, and it is in the color green, obviously. I think it's kind of funny that they listed them as green and the Gardenova as brown because they aren't available yet in other colors, but hopefully they change that soon. Because all the other kits that they came out with, the Alto, the Rabio, Seal Nova, Porter Nova, have come in other colors besides just the one. And I thought, the Maxion Forces coming out as they are haven't come out in other colors, but themes instead. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, so this one was built in conjunction with the Gardenova to augment its abilities. And I will show you what that means later. But for now, we're going to go ahead and show off the articulation on this guy. So, you see I have a nice pose here. Let me go ahead and take his weapon. Thank you, buddy. He doesn't want to let it go. Alright. And this is just straight out of the box build. There isn't anything special added to him. I didn't panel line him, anything like that. Just straight out of the box. And that's normally how I do things here. So he's starting with his head. He has a nice domed head, which it actually makes it quite difficult to pop off. You just have to kind of grab his eye and pull it straight out. But it is on a ball joint on the top, and then it has a simple hinge on the bottom. Two pegs held in place by the chest here. For the shoulder, you get a hinge on the shoulder armor, so you can lift that up. Inside here is just the two cylinders put together so you can get that nice rotation all the way out and then all the way back down. There is rotation in here, so your arm can turn any direction, so you can get a flex out, a flex in, etc. Obviously there is a hinge here. That one is a simple one-piece hinge, so just one joint here, and then a ball joint on the arm. Moving down, we have articulation right here, and a flop up here, up and down, so it's the hinge inside here, and a rotation on that pin. You get the front skirt armor that rotates here, just on a simple pin right inside that part. Same thing on this side. No articulation at the back, but you do get the awesome drop-down hip that they've been giving us on these 30-minute missions kits. Same style as the shoulder, so you can swing that in and out. And then a rotation inside here on a ball joint. So you can get a lot of cool motion on there. The knee is the same as the Gardenova. It is two pieces together there, two hinges together there. So you get quite a bit of articulation there. This one in particular, these are very heavy legs, so it is probably going to wear out faster than any of the other kits that we have. This one is articulated, but it's not necessarily meant to be, so you can rotate that in any direction. And then at the foot, you have inside here is the little hinge. Let's see. The hinge on a ball joint, so you just move that up and down, and then the ball joint goes obviously on the foot to get you a nice any direction that you need it to go into, and then obviously you can tip that up or down with that hinge on the seat clip. So let's go ahead and put his arm back on. Oh, there's this articulation as well. So this comes out just a hair so you can get those dynamic poses with his weapon. We'll lock this back in place and peg that on. Alright, so the Revernova is a heavily armored general-purpose Examacs model developed by the Bylon forces. Despite being less maneuverable than Portanovas, the Revernovas have higher armor strength and firepower. They are mainly developed for ground combat, and the medium to long-range rounds launched from their high-power rifles are able to destroy platoons and troopers in a single firing session. Each of their armaments is capable or compatible with the Gundam, and their combined states have been frequently witnessed on the battlefield. So it seems to me that their purpose isn't to replace the Portanovas or the CL Novas, but to augment the ground forces in particular. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring out the Gundam, and we're going to do a quick comparison. These guys are essentially the same kit, so we're going to go over what that looks like. The legs here are the same. The shoulder parts, all the internal here, this is even the same. So it's really interesting to me how they managed to do it with just swapping out the bottom portion of the legs and these arms here. So with these being compatible, pretty much anything can be swapped out on them. But they do give you directions on how to combine them, like this. So you pop this guy's top off, you put his head on it, you swap out the armor bits, you got his legs, you get Revernova's legs, and his arms. You add the Gundam's arms to the back, pop one of his shoulder blades off, and you get this conglomeration of unholy madness, which is both cool and weird at the same time. I love it. It's stupid. It's awesome. I love this guy. But they do combine. And now you can obviously swap out parts without doing the whole deal. You can use, those legs on his body, for example. You can swap out those arms for those arms. Just straight pop and swap. But the idea that these ones can merge like this, I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did. When they announced it, they showed them two combining together, and it was hilarious to me, and I love it. But Reaver, it comes with this really cool rifle. I've had issues with it staying together. Like, it is just a peg that goes in, and it seems to be really floppy. But I think all the long ones, like the Alto's rifle, ends up bending too. So I think that's just an issue with the way this peg is. I wish they did a 3mm peg. It would have been better, at least for terms of compatibility. But this guy, he's definitely a cool one. I like him. I don't like him as much as I like the Gundam, but I do really like the way his parts look combined with this guy here. And it's a fun guy. He's not top tier, but I love the domed head. That is something that I really enjoy about him. I like the thick legs. Those heavy-duty legs look like the Dom from Gundam. And let's go ahead and do some comparisons for what we normally do with size. So I'm going to pull out the Alto. So this would be his battlefield enemy. Something on the other guy's team. So you can see he's not particularly tall, but it is a lot more of an imposing figure than the Alto has. Alto being that typical grunt style, like Federation build, I would say, for Gundam. This one definitely has that Zeonic flair, but the bulk definitely puts him to shame, I think. I mean, look at Gundam looking a little shorter here, but really cool. This is my GBN Gundam. You can see Gundam is generally taller than those guys are. Looking outclassed by all that armor, I think this guy would give him a definite time, because he's not really good in that hand-to-hand field. And this guy, he's just covered in armor, so maybe a little bit more difficult to get a kill. And last, for my typical comparisons, throw out the frame arms kit. Maybe if he wants to stand there. Frame arms being what I believe to be the inspiration for the 30-minute missions line, with cover the 3mm pegs and ports, and apparently a lot more tall than... Well, I mean, he is a 1/100, so I mean, if you would compare them in universe, it's probably about right. But He's definitely a different sort of bulky. They have that little wasp waist, but so does he. So I don't know. Maybe the inspiration is a little bit stronger than I thought. But anyways, so to remind everyone what this is, it's a combination of the Garda and the Revernova. You do get quite a lot of parts left over, so that you get this entire body left over. You get the head of the Garda. You get these feet. So there is a lot left over that you could have used to make another combination. But I'm happy with that. This is really cool though. I really enjoyed building these guys. They are fast, fun, and simple. I really like those feet. You know, I think the Dom style was always a fun one. I like the big legs. And in a way it makes sense, because I mean, if you're going to have anyone battling against your giant mecha, they're probably going to be smaller than you. You know, you're going to have a tank that maybe shoots legs, so it's going to be a small tank that's shooting down here. I think it makes more sense to have everything all heavy armored down on the bottom, because if you don't have your legs, you don't have a mecha. But with that said, is this something that you need to buy? I think these ones are more expensive than the Altos and the Portanovas. I haven't seen it for, like, I think they are a couple dollars more. For example, the Gardenova that I built to put that together, I think he was $17.99, where an Alto or a Portanova is usually like $14.99. So $3 more, and you don't really get much more out of it. You do get different. So, I mean, if you're looking for different, it's definitely worth it. But for price, I think they needed to change that. Anyways, though, I think you should buy one if you can get it for a good deal. They are really cool. In my opinion, though, I would stick with the Forestriaries or the Maxion forces that come with the expansion kits, where these don't have any expansion kits yet. So $17.99. I mean, it's a high price to pay. So my review isn't stellar, but I do really enjoy building these 30-minute mission kits in general. I just wish that they didn't have a price creep, because this one, it's definitely cool, but I don't know if it's worth $3 more over, you know, a Ciel Nova who has armor bits that you can add on right out of the, right out of the build. You can just buy a $4, $5 kit to add on to, where this one doesn't have anything like that yet. You do have this, but that's another $17 kit. So it's hard for me to swallow. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. If you're a fan of 30-minute missions, it's definitely a hit in style and aesthetics. I think he looks great, he functions great, and you will have a good time if you build one. I promise you that. So that's my review of the Revernova. I think that's all I have to say about this guy. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys next time, or you'll see me. More than likely that you see my stuff. Bye-bye.